Operation BBQ Relief, started out of just the need to want to give back and help the community of Joplin. The morning after the tornado, as I was getting ready for work, my wife was sitting there and she said, "You should really get the barbecue guys together, that community that you're part of, and go down to Joplin and just cook for the community."
Stan Hayes and Jeff Stith had posted a page on Facebook saying, Operation Barbecue Relief for Joplin. I saw that and reached out to Stan and said, I've got a trailer, I've got several smokers. What can we do to help? From there, it was on the road into Joplin we went.
24 hours later, I'm on the ground in Joplin, Missouri. 48 hours later, we're firing up smokers and we're starting to cook for the community. People just started to come. We had volunteers from total 9 states, Missouri and 8 additional states come. We had a guy flew in from Pennsylvania.
The first morning, I woke up in Joplin. I look across the parking lot and there's a guy walking towards me with 2 little girls, about the same age as my little girls at the time. And they're in, again, this is May, so it's chilly out. They're in their summer PJs, little shorts, and he walks up and he goes, "Do you guys have any clothes? So we've lost everything." And I started to kind of scramble, and I was like, wait a minute, I've got some barbecue t-shirts that I kept in my trailer for when my kids were at the barbecue contest, and gave those to him. And as he's walking away, I see his 2 little girls wearing my daughter's shirts. And you just kind of well up a little bit and just go, man, what would I do in this situation? How would I handle it all?
The first day, 2 days we were in Joplin, we cooked more food than we thought we were going to cook when we left. We thought we'd go for 4 or 5 days, cook 4,000 or 5,000 meals, and come home knowing that we did something for the community.
We had no idea by the 12 days it'd be 110,000 meals going out.
I watched a vehicle drive in the parking lot. It was day 2 or day 3, I can't remember which day it was. And I just remember going, my God, first that car's even rolling, because it was just beat. Tree branches, whatever, hit it, it dented all up, cracked windshield, cracked glass all around. And I just remember as I started looking, you couldn't see anything in the vehicle except a little old lady and the car packed to the ceiling. And she got out of this car, and this little old lady came walking over, and she looks at, just sort of looking around, and I thought, well, I'll go see if she's okay. She needs something. And she goes, "I heard I could get a meal here. Is there food here?" I was like, "Absolutely." So I showed her where the line was. She got in line. And a little while later, I see her off to the side. She's got her little clamshell with her pulled pork sandwich and whatnot in it. And she's crying. So I sit there and I'm like, oh man, I hope we didn't do something wrong, or, I hope she, what made her upset. So I went over there and she's crying. She looks at me. She's like, "I just need to know who to thank. Who came here for my community? Who do I thank?" And whenever I'm having one of those down days, whenever you're on a disaster and it's not going the way you want it, or whenever you're out there, I think back to this little old lady who was just thankful that somebody came to the community. Somebody came and, showed the community love, that they weren't forgotten during this terrible time in their life. And I remember that. I remember her face. I remember, as she drove off later going, man, that was everything she probably could find on her lawn, in her house, piled into that car, because that's pretty much all she had left. And she thought enough to thank me for a pulled pork sandwich.
Operation Barbecue Relief is people giving back to others without asking for anything in return, at the drop of a hat, anywhere across the country.
It is something that, has turned into something much bigger than me or that barbecue community. It's people with big hearts all over the country now that come out just wanting to give back when a disaster happens. When we go into a community and we're providing barbecue, there's something about that that primalness of cooking, you know, the smoke and the fire and everything, that helps bring people together, whether it's our own volunteers or it's the people in the community coming out to support one another.
You know, there was a core group that kind of built this, and I use the analogy of to ship, and it's something we've done to a point, and then the last year and a half to watch that ship sail on its own with our employees and our volunteers and continue to grow something in directions that we hadn't thought it would go in, to see where we're at today is mind-blowing.
It's pretty powerful. So again, I remind people, you know, there's a lot that we go through, there's a lot that they go through, but if you just remember the thank yous that you get from the people in the community, the people affected, the first responders that come in after working 12, 14-hour days, and realize that a pulled pork sandwich is so much more than the pulled pork sandwich. It's love. It's making sure the community knows that they haven't been forgotten.
Our main initiative for Operation BBQ Relief is disaster relief, but also the Always Serving Project and giving back throughout the year through different events, functions, helping veterans groups, shelters, just providing meals, providing compassion.
You know what we do after disasters, going into communities and helping them, feeding them. You've also seen what we do, you know, for first responders, military veterans, teaching and educating them on grilling and barbecue. But today, I want to introduce to you our newest program. This program is down in the heart of the Ozarks, and it's called Camp OBR. Camp OBR, what is it? Camp OBR is going to be a camp here on Lake of the Ozarks on 180 acres. We'll have the opportunity to serve veterans and first responders and their families. We're gonna have family-friendly camps. We'll have hiking, hunting, fishing, boating, water sports in general. It's really an opportunity to help heal those mental and physical wounds that they may have. And really an opportunity for families to heal together. That opportunity we see a need for, and we hope that you want to be part of. We are so excited about the opportunities here at Camp OBR and the services it will be providing.